All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Shemar, Shabbat, Shemar, Kakwadash. Devon to the apostle and others, a great millstone. Shalom to the Akim, the pushing the word of sincerity and truth. Yeah, I wanted to, just shed a few words on this concept of a few men, a few good men. I just have this quote. It says, "The history of the world is the history of a few men who had faith in themselves. That faith calls out the divinity within. You can do anything. You fail only when you do not strive sufficiently to manifest infinite power. As soon as a man or a nation loses faith, death comes." Yeah, and main thing I wanted to highlight was just a few men that had that faith within, and with that faith within, it gave them full access to the divinity within. And only a few men that truly harbor that organic faith within themselves, will tap within their inner divinity. And the ones that's doing it is the ones that's in the spirit of power, Yahweh Shema Shah. Tapping into this book, because what you have potential. The word potential deals with potency, and you receive your true potency from diving into these living waters, understanding and acknowledging who you are, your nationality, your enemy, understanding how to move, understanding how to think, how to live, practically, within the guidelines of this book, which activates the inner man, and I made a statement on dealing with organic growth. When you see most of these men of the nation, they only go forward, because someone's telling them to. It's not self-generated, it's not self-motivated. You have to be self-motivated in this thing, man. Whether when in the company of brethren or even on your lonesome. Paul spoke about that, whether believing in his faith, whether presence or the absence of brethren. So that's the spirit of solidity, solitude, solidarity, being in your singular house. Even though you might have a woman, you might have children, you understand you're your own independent individual, and whatever actions you do can fall on your success or your detriment. So basically holding everything at stake, and dealing and using your decision making skills, using everything through the spirit and power of the Lord to reign in that success. Because just like that quote said, man, it's about succeeding, and we want to succeed. We want the best for ourselves. We want the best for our women, children, family members. We want the best for our nation, and it takes really girding up, fastening our our loins, pulling the pant, wearing the man pants, and taking this thing to the finish line. That's what it's about. No matter how much shortcomings, no matter the hardships, the pain and the grief that you have to undergo, it's all for a greater purpose. So that's how the Lord is building us in this manhood. It's a spiritual. Even though you have your woman, but when this thing comes down and boils down to this truth, this is a true man family, man. This is instructing you and re-guiding you unto your true manhood. Isaiah 13:12. It says, "I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir." Right. So the Lord said he's going to make a man more precious than the substance of gold. Gold is one of the most precious prized commodities upon the face of the earth. Investors, individuals that have financial literacy, understand resources, and understand assets, hard assets. They'll take a pretty penny and they'll invest it into gold as well as silver and various other commodities. But above all, if they could have abundance of anything, they're gonna choose gold, bar none. You see? So the Lord said he's gonna make a man in that same stead, in that same light, and it's starting now. It's not going to start in the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is when everything is going to be established and made stable. When the law, statutes, and commandments and the understanding of this word is fully etched in us. But the processing of it. See, right now we're going through the process of growing from, boys, infants. The scriptures speak about being reborn, unto, teens going through our adolescence phases to actually growing into being fully educated and mature, sturdy, stable-minded men. All right. And the model that you thought was a man when you was in your childhood, you start to grow up and educate yourself, and you see that that's not the true model of a man. There's only been a few men that actually stood at the pinnacle of manhood in the history. And of course, you read those men in the Bible. All right. It's only a few good men, that stood on their principles, died about their principles, got tempted, tested, sustained, kept kept to their guns, for lack of a better term, when it came to this word's sake. This is Isaiah 3:25. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in the war, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Right. Yeah, and that goes into really a lot of these different men that we see and believe of, as the guys. They're gonna fall by the wayside, man. And then when the smoke clears, is gonna be the ones that truly stand upon their principles, like I said, standing upon their morals and standing upon their beliefs, and wouldn't take the chip, wouldn't bow down to this devil and this enterprise system, wouldn't do anything that would compromise who they really are. So that's the few good ones, man, which is the elect in the Greek. This goes into eklektos, all right, which is chosen, selected, specifically for this task. And the ones that's going to undergo it, which is starting now, are going to be the ones that's going to continue in it, no matter how they feel, no matter if they have, the sickly, no matter if they're, in the worst case scenario, they're going to take it and stride. All right. This is Job 40:7. Gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. Right. So even with the things that we go through, this isn't the time to be up. When I say be up, I'm just being reserved with my tongue, and it goes for myself too. It ain't the time to, get weak in the midst of the fight. This is the time to charge up, man. The Lord is charging up the house of David. We're not in the waning stages. We're not getting weaker in time. The scriptures speak about how the house of David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. So as we wax and grow in this thing, we just have to continue and strive in it. This is from one glory unto the next. And like that quote said, always believing in yourself, because this world, it sucks. It's like a power vacuum. It takes it has the tendency to suck the will, suck the motivation, suck the inspiration out of you. And then, next thing you know, not talking about brothers, but, people that have, lived this life, the antidepressants, fentanyl, drugs, opioids, and things of that nature, on suicide watch. We have to retain and hold it down. This world should not, make us shell shock, give us the spirit of PTSD or all these different anxieties and things of that nature. We have to fight those, because those are also demons. And Lord, I might do a segment on that, beating every demon, that even comes to the front doors of yourself. That's also the indication of being a man, and I just wanted to shed a few words on that, how the scarcity of true men. Everybody calls themselves a man, but what's a real man? And we understand what's a real man, and the ones that first and foremost, believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and in believing in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, they believe in themselves, and they undergo everything that it takes to be signed up to, everything that it takes to make it unto the end. All right, as it is written, he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. So I want to end by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Shemel Shah, Shemel Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Mills.